welcome. Here we are again back in the kitchen. And I am Lynn. I am the crafty cook. That's what my husband calls me. So there's where my YouTube channel came from. I do some crafting and I do some cooking. And sometimes we do crafts in the kitchen that just make our food look pretty, I guess, or cute. Today we're just going to make some basic white bread. This was my mama's recipe, and my mama loved homemade bread. She made bread all the time, and it's real simple, and you should be able to pick up at any day and time with just things in your pantry to make this bread recipe. Okay, so let's get started. First, we need 2 cups of warm water, and I've got that right here, and then we'll put it right in my bowl because we're going to do everything right in this bowl here. 2 cups of warm water, 1/2 cup of white sugar, but I don't add all that at one time, I don't believe. I just add a tablespoon, that's right. I always have to read the recipe because can't always remember off the top of my head. I don't know about you all, but I can't. And 1.5 tablespoons of yeast, and I use this right here, this dry active yeast. And here's a tablespoon. I'm just going to sprinkle that right across the top of that. And this is called proofing your yeast. And it'll start to get real bubbly in a little bit, about 5 minutes. Yeast smells so good. 1.5 tablespoons, is that what it says? Yeah, there's another 1/2 tablespoon. Here we go. Sprinkle it right across there. We'll let this set just a couple of minutes, okay? It says let it set for 5 minutes. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. All right, while this is proofing, it's just about ready. It's getting bubbly around the edges. I was going to talk to y'all for just a minute about this recipe. You can make this recipe and make cinnamon rolls with it. You can add things like bacon and cheese and things like that to this recipe. You can add herbs to this recipe. This is just your basic white water bread recipe. You can use this bread recipe as a basis for anything else that you all might want to do. I know I've used it for cinnamon rolls. I've made just plain white bread. I've made dinner rolls. It makes great dinner rolls. It's just a matter of the way you shape it. Tonight we're going to have pigs in a blanket, and I'm going to roll out a long skinny snake and roll around our hot dogs and bake it that way. I saw someone else do that, and I thought, well, that's a good idea. So I'm going to try that. And so tonight we're going to have our hot dogs and french fries. And I just stick the french fries in the air fryer. But just, can you all see how this is doing? I don't know if you can see down in there or not. Let me bring you over here so you can see. Can you see the edges of that? Around the edges, how it's getting real foamy. So that means our yeast is alive and it's going to do just fine. Okay? Get y'all back up there now where you can see me. Not that you really, it's a bonus, but. Okay, we're going to go over here to, well, let's see. We're going to add in here. We do have to add some more stuff before we start adding our flour. We've got to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Here's our salt. And here's a 1/2 teaspoon, so we're just going to add 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, we got that. It says 1/4 cup of oil. I've got that measured out here. I'm going to put that in there, just like that. And the rest of the sugar, which was 1/2 cup of sugar. So I got my 1/2 cup measure here. And I just usually add that extra tablespoon in the beginning and go ahead and add my 1/2 cup. It does just fine that way. And I'm going to add that in there just like that, okay? Now, we're going to go over here to the mixer because I always need mine, mix it and knead it in my KitchenAid mixer because that is absolutely the easiest way in the world to make bread. You don't have to worry with your floured surface. You don't have as big a mess to clean up. If you've got a KitchenAid and a dough hook or a dough hook on a stand mixer, you can do this with your mixer. And it makes making bread super simple and super easy. So I'll meet you all right back over here at the mixer. Okay, we're over here at the mixer. We've got all of our liquid ingredients in our bowl, okay? Now it says to add 5 to 6 cups of all-purpose flour. Be sure it's all-purpose flour because you're using a yeast. If you do not want the baking soda and the salt that you get if you use self-rising flour. You do not want that. You want plain all-purpose flour. I use white lily flour just because that's what I use. No, they're not paying me. No, they're not sending me flour. So I'm going to start by adding, I'm going to add about 3 cups in here and then get it started going. Okay, I hear my big boy out there. He's loving this warm weather. It's the weather getting warm where you all are. It is here. I'm hoping we're going to have an early spring, but I'm afraid we're going to not. I'm afraid it'll come back to haunt us. So, now then, we're just going to mix this a little bit. I need to get me a clear glass bowl so y'all can see in my bowl, don't I? Alright, Andy, be quiet. Can y'all see this? I'm going to scrape down the flour on the sides of this. Get it down in there a little bit better. And just keep mixing it. Alright. He's wanting a TV remote. I'm going to put another cup right in the middle. I forgot to get my mic going. I'm sorry, y'all. I hope you can hear me over him. Anyway, now we've got 4 cups of flour in our bowl right here. I moved y'all over here a little bit, so hopefully the mic will pick up okay. Because I forgot to put one on. I don't want to have to redo my bread recipe, but I guess I can if I have to. Turn it up. We've got 4 cups in there. So we'll see if we can. You probably will need all of your 6 cups, and you may need another 1/4 of a cup, depending on the weather where you live, the altitude you're at. A lot of things like that play a part when you're making bread. So you just have to pay attention to what's in your bowl. Look at I've got flour all over the top of this poor little mixer. Look at it. All right, there's our 4 cups. Now I'm going to add 5. I just kind of scrape them off the top, just like that. I ought to put it right in the middle so that it doesn't get stuck to the sides. Okay, this is our 5th cup. I'm going to get one. Maybe y'all can see me and the bowl here. We will need a 6th cup, and like I said, sometimes I end up having to add a little bit more, maybe another 1/4 of a cup, 1/2 a cup. But you'll be able to tell by looking at your dough what it should look like, okay? All right, now I'm going to add part of this 6th cup. About half of it. The other day I made this same recipe and I had to have all of the 6 cups plus a little bit more. And today I may not need all of the 6 cups. Like I said, it depends on the weather, the time of year. There's a lot of things that go into how your bread's going to turn out in just a minute. There's the other half a cup. Then on the top there. Yes. And get it stirred in here again. I'm going to turn y'all down here so you can see in here real good. You see how that's kind of coming away from the sides of this bowl? So we may not need any more flour today than what we have. Maybe just another spoonful. See, that's just got a tablespoon right here, just out of the drawer. But see, look how it's really coming away now. You want it to come and make a ball, a whole ball. I know you're not seeing my face, I know that, but I want y'all to see what this looks like in this mixer. Oops, oops, oops. Flour's flying, isn't it? I told y'all the other day, mess is my middle name, so it sure is. Turn the light back on. He loves to turn the lights off and eat and watch his baseball games, and he's so excited today. Andy, be quiet, honey. Okay, so there's what, 3 tablespoons? All right, he's gone back outside, so we've got a minute here. All right, I believe that's going to be enough. So 6 cups and 3 tablespoons. Hey Siri, set a timer for 7 minutes. Hey Siri, set timer for 7 minutes.
7 minutes, counting down.
Okay, we've got our timer set for 7 minutes, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like after 7 minutes. Okay, can y'all see how clean the edges of this bowl are? The way that, let me turn it a little more, we'll turn here. I slowed it down, it kind of lost its shape. But it has all come away from the edges of this bowl, and it's like in one clump right in the middle of the mixer. Can y'all see that? See how clean this edge of this bowl is over here as it turns around? Can y'all see this right over here? Right in here. Okay, I believe it's about ready. We're gonna get it out of here. Got a little bit of flour on my fingers. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna get it off this dough hook. Not like this. Take this flour. See, it'll just peel right off. Just like this. Just comes right loose. Then I just take my fingers and go right down that dough hook. Right like that. Got our dough hook nice and clean, no dough on it. And this gets stuck, so I'll turn you off while I get it unstuck. Okay, I got y'all back on here now. I got it unstuck. And right here in this bowl, right here, turn down just a little bit. I've put a little bit of oil, just drizzled oil in the bottom of it. We're gonna take our spatula and just dump this dough right in here, just like this. And every bit, this bowl will be just as clean. Turn y'all around here so you can see a little bit. See, turn the light back on. All right, can y'all see how I'm dumping that in there? All right, now then. I'm gonna put just a tiny little bit of oil across the top of it. And just kind of roll it around so that it's all completely coated with oil. All right, there we go. There we go. Now then, it won't stick to my bowl. You're supposed to let it rise for about an hour, hour and a half. The recipe of Mama's actually says, let it rise for 1 hour or till it's coming to meet you. And what that means is, when it's come all the way out of that bowl, then it's time to punch it down and get it ready for its second rise. So we're going to leave this sitting here. Mama always took a dish towel, tea towel, flour sack towel, put it in really hot water and wrung it out to where it's just damp and laid it across. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we're going to, let me grab me a towel down here. Here's one. And then I'm going to let it rise, and I'll be back with you in just about an hour, hour and a half. See you. Well, we're back. I don't know if y'all going to ever get to see this video or not, but I'm going to try to finish it up a little bit. Maybe I can cut Andy out of it. Here's our bread. This is our bread dough. It's been sitting over here probably a good hour, maybe hour and 10 or 15 minutes. We're going to dump it out. I've got my flour sack towels. I told y'all about those the other day when I made dumplings. I use a flour sack towel, and I just roll it up when I'm done with it and lay it in my cabinet, and it keeps its flour on it. It's fine. So I'm going to dump this bread out here. Boom, right like that. Put that over there. Let me grab this flour here. Sprinkle me just a little bit over the top of it. I think that's all we're going to need. And I'm going to cut this in about 3 pieces. I'm going to make 2 loaves, and then we're going to make some pigs in blankets, okay? Pigs in blankets. So, see, it just doesn't stick. When you put it on this towel, it just rolls about. All right, here we go. We're going to knead this up here just a little bit. Then we're going to try to make it so we can cut it into 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. All right, these 2 are larger. They'll be all right. Just take it right like this. I'm going to lay that one right back there. I'll lay this one right over here. And this one right here. I may end up having only 1 actual loaf. I don't know. First, I'm going to grease this loaf pan right here. See? Got my loaf pan. My loaf pans are a little smaller than some. You can get them that are a lot bigger. But I love this because it's a stoneware. I just things cook more evenly. All right. We'll take this one right here. Just going to roll it like this in my hands. Can y'all see what I'm doing here? Just rolling it like this in my hands. And I'm going to kind of shape it. Right like this. Pull this over here where you can see it. And I'm just going to plop it right down in there. See? There you go. We'll let that rise again. For right now, I'm going to start making these pigs in blankets. I'm going to take me some dough and I'm going to roll it out in a long snake. I saw somebody else do this. So I'm going to take more dough than that. Let's take off a bigger piece here. Mix these together here like this in my hands. I'm just going to start rolling it. Just in a long, skinny roll. Just like this. And that dough will just stretch right down through there. They actually made them, I think, in frozen to have. I don't know. This may be too long, so we may have to cut part of it off. That's okay. Too much is better than not enough, isn't it? All right. Let me get these opened up here, and I've got my pan over here to lay them on. right here. See, got just a cookie sheet. Set it right here. Put that one back over there. All right, let's see here. And she just took this, did like this right here, and just started wrapping it, just like this. Just rolled it right around there. And then cut that off. And just lay them down there. Ah, isn't that pretty? Let's do another one, want to? Just wrap it around. Oh, didn't have quite enough on that one. That's okay. All right, now then. Get us off another piece of dough here. That pinch down there. Here we go. Just twist it around there. Isn't that pretty? All right. Some of them have a little more bread than others. This is a neat idea, isn't it? I will not take credit for doing this. I did see somebody else do it first. I got one more. One more hot dog to do. A little bit of this piece right here, and then we'll cut that up and throw it in a bowl with some butter. I'll have to melt us some butter, cinnamon and sugar. Or should we make it Parmesan cheese and garlic? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? What do I want? Cinnamon or Parmesan cheese? I think I'll do Parmesan cheese and garlic. My mama used to do that a lot. So that piece can just go with that. Okay, we got our, is that all in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 hot dogs here. And we'll set these over here so they can start to rise. And then we'll put them in the oven. We put our bread in. Take about 30 minutes before we get ready. And then I'll come back on here in just a minute and show you how we do this Parmesan cheese pull-apart bread, okay? Okay, y'all, I've got some melted butter in the bottom of this bowl. Now I'm going to add some garlic powder. I've got fresh garlic powder here, but I've not opened yet. Let me see if I can open it without spraying the whole kitchen with garlic. You know my middle name is Mess. I've told y'all that. I make messes. Well, shit, I don't think you can get it open. Let me get a knife. It's got this little sealed thing right here that I need to get apart. Now then, I can get the lid off of it, I think. There we go. Woohoo, I didn't make too big of a mess, did I? Alright, let's see. I'm going to put some of this shredded Parmesan cheese. There's a little bit in this package. I don't know how much there is. Not much. So I'm going to add some more of this one. It's just the same thing, just new package. I guess I've got maybe about a half a cup in there. Mama never measured, so I'm not measuring either. And we're going to put some of this 5 cheese blend. We're just going to sprinkle some of that in there. Maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons maybe. And now I'm going to try to measure this garlic. I'm going to put a teaspoon of garlic powder in there. Okay, that smells good. And this, we're going to use these Italian herbs. And this is a grinder, so I do not know how much we're adding. But I'm going to grind quite a bit in there because I really want I love the flavor of these herbs. These herbs smell heavenly, and they taste just as heavenly. I got this at Sam's. I had never seen it before. But, oh my mercy. It's become one of my new favorite things to use. So I've got probably a teaspoon, maybe just a little bit more in there. All right, let me get something started up with real quick. I've got me just a wooden spoon here. Just stirring that up. See that? All right. Now then, to make this, what you do, take your little balls of dough, and I'm actually just going to cut these up in little pieces. Just hack them up in little squares. You don't have to. Mama, a lot of times, would make this and buy the frozen rolls, you know, in the grocery store. And she would put it in a bundt pan. And I did that for years. And when Mama was working, she tried to do things that were what you might call semi-homemade, where she would take something that she bought in the store, like that bread dough or, you know, something, and dress it up just a little bit. So, oh, and I've got a stick of butter and maybe another tablespoon in there. And I did use salted butter because that's what I typically use. Y'all kind of know that. Come apart there. Now then. Okay. All right, I'll put the lid on it. I'm going to coat this really good. We're just going to shake it about, just like this. Just shake it up real good until you get it all coated. And it's all coated good. Now we're going to put it in this pan right here. Make sure it's all coated really well. And I believe it is. Each little piece. I'm going to try to pull them out one at a time and just drop them in there. Okay. Just like that. Because you want the butter between your pieces. That's what makes it pull apart. Okay. I may have a little too much of the seasoning stuff for the amount of bread I had, but like I said, I didn't measure anything, and Mama never measured it. But she usually did make it in a bundt pan, so just gonna stack these up in there just like this. You want all that cheese and butter and herb goodness to come through in every little bite of this bread. Okay. We'll get all of our cheese in there, don't we? Ooey goodness. You can see the butter in the bottom of the pan. Alright, we're about to get that in here. Alright, there we go. See? Got it all in there. Now we're going to set all this over here and let it rise for about 30-40 minutes till it's really risen real nice, and then we'll pop it in the oven at 350, and it usually takes 30-40 minutes, 45 to bake a loaf of bread. Some people say 30. I like to look at the top of it when it's golden brown, and Mama always took her finger and did like this and thumped it, and if it sounded hollow, it was done. So that's probably the way I'll check this, is I'll thump it with my finger and see if it sounds hollow. And if it does, then we'll know it's done, if it's that way and kind of golden brown on top. So I'll see you all back in just a few minutes. Okay, well, I'm back to end up this video on our bread. Hopefully y'all get to see it. Here are our little hot dogs. I guess I could put them on a plate, couldn't I? These all just came out of the oven. I'll just show y'all a few of them. Aren't they cute? Look at that. Aren't those cute? Just little pigs in blankets. I'll get the rest of those up in a minute. Here's just our loaf of white bread. And I've not taken it out of the pan yet, and that pan is hot. So I'll see if I can pick it up here and show it to you. But it's beautifully browned on the top. See, isn't that pretty? How pretty that bread is. And then here is our pull-apart bread. Right here. Y'all see how pretty that is? Isn't that pretty? I can't wait. I've got some spaghetti sauce or marinara sauce or pizza sauce or something like that you just pull this apart. Look at this. See, it just comes apart in little chunks. That's our little pieces. See? That's the reason it's called pull-apart bread. And look at all that cheese in there. Y'all see that ooey gooey cheese? Look. So I can't wait to eat this. Try it and dump it in with our other stuff. So this is our bread video number 1. We'll do more and we'll change up some things, and I want to show y'all everything you can do with this one simple white bread recipe, because you can make bread up tons of different ways. So that's going to be all for this one, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good night.